Okay, let's rock and roll. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh my God, I am so thrilled, but also very nervous about doing this 3-day event. The wounds that we're going to be covering over the next 3 days are very true to my heart, and it is something that I know in this lifetime I've come back to heal, but also now to teach and help others use this type of work in their own healing bodies, of their own sort of modalities, so that they too can help other women with these wounds. And although I say women, because obviously this group is a feminine group, it still runs deep within the men, because we've been men in past lives, and so the men have been women in past lives, so it still transfers. And sometimes I feel it, like the witch wound. I'm like, oh, I call it a wizard wound for the men, but we can have like the brother wound, etc., etc. So there's plenty of juice to get your teeth into. But these are the 3 that come up time and time again in regards to me working with other healers, not only teaching them, but also helping them become more visible in their business. I've also, I've worked with lots of coaches and healers over the years, and you don't actually have to be incredibly woo-woo to actually have these wounds. So over the next 3 days, we're going to be working and speaking about the sister wound, the mother wound, and the witch wound. And although we're saying they're wounds, we've got sister, mother, witch, they're actually archetypes. And we choose to be these archetypes in this lifetime, not only because we want to heal aspects of it, but we also want to embody the true aspect of these archetypes as well. Hiya, hello, welcome, morning, Kerry. Let me know where everybody is in the world, because I'm dead nosy and I like to know where you all are. Hi, Linda. Hi, Tanya. Aloni. I hope I've spelt your name or said your name correctly, and I've said hello to Kerry. So if anybody's watching this on the replay as well, feel free to pop a hello in the comments. I know I've chosen like an 11 o'clock. I was hoping that it was going to work out nicely for everybody, like having an early lunch. But because I have people from all over the world, I've got to pick a time. And this was it. Orange. Okay, so orange in America. I would take that. Is that orange as in Orange County? Like California way, over that way? I could be completely wrong. I'm not too bad with my geography, in all fairness. But yes, so welcome. I am really looking forward to doing this. The reason why I was actually guided to do the 3-day live, because some of you will want to move into doing the 6-week container where I'm teaching and healing this on a whole new deeper level. But I also wanted to be able to give a good introduction into this and help you have some shifts along the way in this 3-day event. So this morning we're going to be doing the sister wound. This is the first one that comes up, so I'm going to do a little bit of teaching around this, what it looks like, where it's showing up, and you'll be quite surprised how it shows up in people's lives. Because we're multidimensional, that means we're basically body, mind, spirit and soul. It can show up in different areas. And I'll give you an example. You might be trying to heal like an ailment or a disease within your body, which is like physical problems, right? But it could actually be stemming from something emotional, or it could be something stemming from something spiritual. And we could be looking at it or trying to heal it on a completely different wrong level, because that's the manifestation. The manifestation is the illness or the disease, but we're trying to heal it through, you know, like naturopathy and you know, supplements or healthy lifestyle and diet, whereas actually it could be like more of a spiritual attack. So I know some of you are here and you're quite new to my world, so I'll just give you a little bit of a brief overview of who I am. So my name is Claire Gorman. I'm the founder of the Temple of Ascension. So originally this group used to be called Holistic Spiritual Community, but this year, with me moving more into teaching and training and facilitating in that way, I felt that this group needed to change its name, and I wanted to move it into a name where we were all ascending, right? And literally the name dropped in through my psychic abilities, and it was like, we're going to call it the Temple of Ascension. So it's not like we're in this group where we're just going to be stuck in the muddy waters. We are using this group to actually help ourselves change our lives. So I run the Temple of Ascension, and this is where I'm going to be doing more of my teaching, training and facilitating. But I also have a spiritual book club. So I used to call it Holistic Spiritual Community Book Club. You'll get used to my personality. But I've called that now the Empress Book Club, right? So this is where I tend to do more of my coaching side. I play in that field and my musings. And what we do is in the book club, we use the book club for taking a book and then using it to help us change our lives, basically. So you can see that I'm very much the person that is here of not being stuck in the mud. I am like, we create our reality, and I'm changing my reality, so therefore I'm changing my life. I've been in this realm full time for about 8 years now. I started off my career in the hair and beauty industry. So I used to make women look beautiful on the outside. Now I make them feel fabulous on the inside. So, you know, my teaching and training and apprenticeship days. So I've always taught, even when I was back in the hair and beauty industry. I've worked with global brands, helping global brands and franchises grow their businesses. So, you know, it's funny how sometimes we go full circle, and I'm pulling on training and understanding that I did like 20-30 years ago. I'm using it in this business. So I love business. I love building businesses. I love service-based businesses. So for me, moving into this type of business, yes, it pulled on a lot of my wisdom and knowledge in those industries that I've been in for those years. And there is similar pathways between, you know, a service-based business and the healing-based business now. But now I'm moving more into the teaching and the training and the facilitating, which I absolutely love, because I've always been a trainer since the age of 18, when I was training all the young apprentices coming into the salon and on the salon floor. So my background is that I'm English, but I live in Australia. But what's been happening the last few years is, especially this year, was I spent 6 weeks back in the UK running retreats and doing programs back in the UK, and that will be happening again in 2026. So yeah, I sort of spend my time between the two countries. But I'm back here in Australia as well. I'm having a hot Christmas. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a certified medical intuitive. I'm a certified theta healer. I've done Reiki. I've done, what else have I done? Oh, spiritual warfare, psychic surgery, Akashic records. I've done lots of different modalities. And it's not because I feel that I need to learn all these different modalities. I'm a modality junkie. And then because I'm like a pure alchemist, I take the learnings that I've been through, and then I sort of put them into a way that works for my business. And now what's happened over the years is that a lot of healers have come to me saying, how are you doing this? How are you getting those results for your clients? I want to learn from you. So therefore, I'm teaching this stuff now. So you'll see underneath and through this container, this group, Temple of Ascension, that there are offerings. I'm not going to lie, this is a group you can take exactly what you want from this group, but if you want to move into more learning and teaching, my style of, and body of work, then you are more than welcome to move into different paid containers. But as I say, this next 3 days is completely complimentary, and this will also go up onto my YouTube channel, where I have had other programs that are sitting there complimentary as well. So I'm very fair in what I offer complimentary, and then there's obviously paid containers to work with me further down the line. Okay, so let's kick off. I've already created the energy vortex for these 3 days. So what I do is when I set up containers like this, I make sure that we are all in a safe space. All right, so I've called in the correct healing frequencies, guides, angels, your masters, our psychic surgery team, etc., etc. So, you know, what we're going to be talking about with these wounds, right? It's going to bring stuff up. I'm not going to lie. But I am very ethical in the way that I create my space and my containers. So I've already opened up this clean vortex for these next 3 days, and I've already created the portal that has opened up for the next 6-week container if you want to learn this more and go deeper. So I've already set up the sacred space. So whatever you see, you say in this group is held in sacred trust. I would like to say that please do not screenshot anything. Please do not share any of this information outside of this group. Although the videos are going to be put up on YouTube and they're open, just be mindful that the video will go up onto YouTube, but what you write in the comments below this is in this group, okay? I will, although I've said hello to you, I will not read out your name and the description underneath, okay? So we'll do it in that respect. So let's dive in, all right? So just take some nice deep breaths, because what we're going to discuss first is this sister wound. And I did not know about this sister wound. I was walking around what I call a karmic loop. I was walking around going, why is this happening to me again? Why is this happening to me again? This is really bizarre. So I knew a lot around the witch wound, right? I learned about that straight away when I first signed up for my theta healing class. I was seeing people's past lives where they were being burnt at the stake. So I was literally thrown in to all that information straight up. But this sister wound I didn't learn until a bit later on when I was doing divine feminine work. So the sister wound, so I'm going to explain it, and I want you to just be like, okay, yeah, got it. And some of you might resonate with it, some of you might not. But some of you that are not resonating with it, it could be because you've numbed out to this stuff, all right? So the sister wound, this arises from broken bonds with feminine peers, and it's rooted in betrayal, competition, or emotional withdrawal between women. All right, there is so many of us that have this. It's often sourced in childhood, siblings, or school friendships. Ancestral experiences of betrayal or collective memory from times when sisterhood was punishment, e.g. the witch trials. So if we look back at the olden days with the witch trials, basically what happened was we were accused by other women that we were witches for a couple of reasons. One, because of monetary, right? So if you were starting back in the olden days to be celebrated for your success, in midwifery or your healing herbs or your potions and stuff like that, right? They got jealous and they wanted to take you down, right? If you also, because back in the day, it was really important that our bloodline carried on, right? So we would try and marry the most, not necessarily the handsome or the most richest, but ideally the most healthiest male and the one that could provide for you, because a lot of us passed away in childbirth. So we needed to have a man and a family that we knew that our children would be okay with that family line, right? And other women would be jealous, so therefore they would take on the role of like temptress or accuse you of something, of like, that's not your son, you've been sleeping with someone else. All of that shit goes down, right? It's a sister wound. And it really breeds in this, they're nice to your face, but they're saying something else behind your back. And in nowadays times, in school times, it's the school bullies or the it girls, and you're on the outside, or you're the weird one, you're the estranged one. That happens. So that can happen. So it can be that you are, getting promotion, you're getting success, you're making money, and then all of a sudden you cap yourself. Because if you rise above, like in Australia we call it the tall poppy syndrome, if you rise above your status, then you're most likely to be attacked. And it goes back through the collective, but it also goes back through the ancestral line as well, and history, the history line. It plays out in karmic loops. So it plays out as this distrust in women, the lone wolf patterns, social anxiety, fear of betrayal, fear of visibility due to fear of attack by other women. So this is where you see some women sometimes, especially now social media is such a big thing, where they say, oh, I get accused of this and this through social media, right? I don't want to show up because of I'm going to be attacked. I had a beautiful woman that I was at an event with a few years ago, and she was on stage talking about her spiritual business. And the event that I was at was like a business networking event. So some of us in that event were quite spiritual and some of us weren't. But it was the ones that weren't spiritual. It was a table behind me, and it was a woman, right? The only woman on the table with other men. And she was heckling her in this event. And I was like, oh my God. And it's sister wound, witch wound, all coming up. That needed to be healed and cleared in this woman, right? So sometimes we hold ourselves back, not because we fear, oh, our next 1 or 2 steps. It's our 10th, 20th big quantum leap step. So what we do is that we block ourselves before the horse has left the stable, right? Not when it's running the race. Because when it's running the race and it's running down the track and it's jumping over the hurdles, it's harder to stop the horse, right? So what do? We stop it right at the beginning. We don't even take the horse out of the stable, right? Because sometimes our subconscious knows our biggest fear is further down the line, like 2, 3, 4 years down the line. So it will stop us and block us. And I see this a lot with healers that are still stuck in just starting their spiritual business. Okay, the impact, it shows up in business through jealousy or comparison, resistance to collaboration as well. This is a really interesting one with the collaboration. It will be where the collaboration isn't balanced. So someone will say, hey, do you fancy doing an event together, or do you fancy running a group program together, or do you fancy this and this, and doing something together, right? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great, that'd be wonderful, and you're the one that does all the work and they get all the credit, right? This is a sister wound. The other thing is, it's like, oh, should we organise Sally's birthday, you know, Sally's 50, let's organise her a night out and we'll do a whip round and have the present. And it's like you doing everything. It's like all dumped on you to do everything, but you don't get the gratitude or the thanks. All right, so it's where things aren't balanced. It's just this like dumped on you energy, right? So that can happen. It can happen in your family, all right, where you're the sibling that always hosts Christmas, right? And you're the one paying for everything, and then the other family members just swan in. But that a few times. So that is a sister wound as well. So there's also fears around being seen or celebrated. So if you struggle celebrating yourself, right, and I'm not going to lie, this one still picks at me. You know, I'm in a lot of masterminds, and I do get to the point where, you know, oh, you win for the week, you know, what have you achieved for this week? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not putting that in there. Not putting that in there, right? And I tell myself, because it's nobody else's business. But I struggle celebrating myself as well. Okay, so how can this affect you, right, from a body point of view? So from a medical intuitive point of view. So the sister wound, pelvic tightness or numbness, hormone imbalances, for example, polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, abdominal adrosis. That's what I had. I ended up having a hysterectomy. So I had a hysterectomy, my mother had hysterectomy, both grandmothers had hysterectomies. So you can see how this stuff is going back through the family line. Skin breakouts, that's around visibility and fear. All right, breast, and I used to have adult acne as well. Breast pain or tension. Okay, if it's playing out in your mind, it's comparison spirals, fear of being seen or celebrated, imposter syndrome, overthinking in social dynamics. So it can play out a little bit with ADHD as well, or ADD. From a spiritual point of view, disconnection from your feminine intuition. All right, and it's then sort of having the ongoing catalyst for that is asking a friend, what do you think? What do you think? Right, and then it's like giving that person the power, you know, in that way. Fear of trusting women energetically. Right, so it might be that I see this a lot when people actually join group programs. All right, that's why I set up a really good group container. Okay, so we work on this before people are coming into the group, because what happens is, and I've experienced this as well, you feel like an outsider. Where I've actually done, it was about 4 years ago, I did a money program with someone, and all of these people were getting results, and I was like, this is bizarre. Why am I not like getting results? This is bizarre, right? I'm doing all the same things that everybody else is, and I wasn't making like the massive impact that was sold to me, but also, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just in here just to learn this stuff, right? And then I literally tuned into my intuition. It was like, you haven't put yourself into the container. I was like, what do you mean I haven't put myself into the container? It's like, you're an outsider, right? And then I sat with it and I thought, yeah, because even at school, even in certain situations, I'd be like, I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved in all that drama. I'm staying well out of it, right? And what I realized was I needed to put myself into the energy container, so I was still getting the energy and the transformation, right? So if you ever join a group program, or if you've ever done anything, right, and you're just like, right, that is a sister wound that needs healing. Because you are supposed to trust other women, right? We're supposed to be healing this on the ancestral level. Okay, yeah, and you can have resistance to feminine-led spaces. I always remember when I was younger, so I went to an all-girls school, and then for the last 2 years I went to a state school, so it was mixed. And I found that it was just easier to have boys as friends than girls. So I used to really resist having girlfriends. Okay, from a soul level, feeling excluded from the sisterhood grid. So we look at it as though I'm not in the clique. We can have a karmic loop of betrayal or abandonment by women. Okay, so it constantly happens. I like to call it same shit, different day, right? Where it's like, okay, and now because I'm so attuned to like frequency, I can normally sense someone's frequency, and I know I'm like, oh, that person's got a similar feeling to that person, and I can sort of see it in that way, because that's the easiest way for it to be shown up for me. I remember years ago, I can't remember who I've told a few of you about this, right? That I needed a bullshit detector, right? Because this wound was still very rife with me. And I want to like and trust everybody, right? And one day I sat with my guides and I just said, I need something to make me aware of this stuff because I'm fed up with being hurt over it. And it was like, you need a bullshit detector. And I was like, okay, what's a bullshit detector? And I literally got this vision of Doctor Who and the Daleks, and the Dalek having that, you know, that thing, we will exterminate, out the front. It was like, you need something like that. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And when I started to code in, right, that I could see the truth and that I was okay with the truth, then I was just like, okay, this person is being narcissistic, this person's gaslighting me, this person is this. And I'm not going to lie, you know, some people present one way and it sometimes takes some time, you know, months, weeks, years, to actually see the truth behind the matter. The other thing that I really did to help me a lot with this was, there's an angel that you can work with. I've actually put this angel into the 6-week group container. So there's an angel that we work with that actually removes toxic narcissistic people away out of our life. And then what I did was I started to put creator and God, and say to God, bring me the right people, bring me the right people. And I started doing it in that way. Okay, so does any of you know about muscle testing? So in theta healing and kinesiology, we can do muscle testing, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start muscle testing to see whether we have these beliefs. So when we have beliefs set in our subconscious mind, we believe that our reality, we believe that in our reality, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to clear some of the main beliefs right now, so that we are not still believing that this, that and the other around the sister wound, etc. So we're going to do that. So there's a couple of ways that you can do muscle testing. So if any of you have ever done it, then you just know, okay, how to do this muscle testing. But the way I do it is I do it through pendulums. Okay, so when we do the 6-week container, we're going to be doing pendulum alchemy around these divine feminine wounds, because I just find it a lot easier. So what I do is, if you have this, all right, now when I read out the beliefs, you might just have this sensation run through your body. If you're clairsentient, you might have this knowing that, oh yeah, I've got that belief, right? That's your claircognizance. All right, you might just hear a buzzing, a sound, you might feel a bit weird, right? You know you have these beliefs. But the way that I test for a belief is that I set the pendulum to my whole body system on all levels, all aspects, all timelines and dimensions, right? And then the pendulum will say, yes, okay, so this pendulum is set to me on all levels, all aspects, all timelines and dimensions. Okay, so this is tuned into my subconscious. And it's saying yes. So back and forth is yes for me, and side to side is no. And then when I clear anything, it goes counterclockwise. Now this might look clockwise to you because the video is reversed, So counterclockwise is clearing, and then clockwise is activating. Okay, so that's basically roughly how the pendulum works. But I do teach pendulum magic as well. Literally just finished round 2. Pendulum teaching will resume again next year. Okay, so because I've got this pendulum set to me, what we're going to do is that we're going to run through some of the beliefs. Okay, so I have the belief I am safe with other women. So I've got yes. Okay, but you might get a no. It is safe to be seen and loved. I can be celebrated without being attacked. I can be celebrated. Oh God, I've written that one twice. I can be celebrated without being attacked. I trust the feminine. There is space for me to shine. I haven't got that one. Okay. There is space for my sisters to shine. Yeah. So my sisters can shine, but I can't shine. I am free from comparison and competition. I release the fear of, I have the fear of female betrayal. Okay, so I still have that one. I allow myself to be vulnerable in sisterhood, in the sisterhood. It is safe to be admired by other women. I literally just said, no. I no longer need to prove my worth to be included. All right, so how many of you have those beliefs? Now, they might not just be yours, okay? So when we're doing belief work, when we said on all levels, all aspects, all timelines and dimensions, what we're doing there is that we're tuning into you in the here and now, you connected to your ancestors. So we go back on the genetic line, so that's 7 levels back, and then your ancestors is 7 and further back. Okay, we do it on the history and the collective as well, and your soul, your past lives. So we're muscle testing all of those, not just you in this lifetime. Okay, so this is where it starts to get very, very deep. And we're also clearing it on different timelines, okay, different realities of you in this lifetime. This is quantum stuff. But yeah. And then what we do is, because we're clearing it in you, we clear it in your future generations as well. So we go forward 7 generations. Because what you'll find is that a lot of us, we are the black sheep of the family. So we're the last ones, the buck stops with us. And what you find is that our future generations, so even if you haven't had children, I'm talking about possibly your nieces and your nephews as well, and even close friends, you might be a godmother to somebody, you will find that the younger generations don't have this. You know, look how they are on TikTok, look how they are just showing up, right? We're the last ones that promised to clear all of this stuff. You can actually muscle test that, all right? So let me just have a look and see. I'm trying to see if I've got any comments under here. Oh, here we go, perfect. All right. Oh, we've got Brisbane, New South Wales, Orange, Albion Park, New South Wales, Florida. Okay, I'm loving that it resonates for you. You never saw it that way around. Okay, cool. The angel that clears toxic people is Archangel Sabriel, S-A-B-R-I-E-L, Sabriel. Now, be careful, because with Archangel Sabriel, she will remove toxic people and people that you did not realize were toxic, all right, that were wearing a mask. And that's happened to me. I've been like, oh, okay, that person's left my life, okay, but it's saved me a lot of heartache further down the line, all right? So just so you know. And it's funny because that archangel is coming in and working with us in the 6-week container. You've got a lot of them, but the one that was a no, yes to most. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, great. At least we've got some. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to release those. And we're going to start to release jealousy imprints, betrayal energies, inherited sister pain, and collective feminine distrust. So before we'll do the big clearing at the end. So what I want you to do now, so we know we got some of those beliefs, so we're going to park those there. Then I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. If you're driving, don't do this, listen to it later. All right, so just take some nice long slow deep breaths, just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. I want you to become aware of this beautiful bubble of white light, and that you feel very, very safe and protected in this bubble of white light. Okay. So then I want you to ask your body, your mind, your spirit and your soul, where in my system am I holding this sister wound? Where is it? And you're going to do an energy scan on yourself. So just imagine a beam of white light just going through your whole body, all the way through from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, through your whole energy body, your meridians, your chakras, your organs, everywhere, down to the earth. And then you're going to start to witness, whether you know, sense, feel, listen, however your psychic abilities show up. Now, some of you might realize that an illness or a disease has been caused by this sister wound. Some of you, it's actually neck pain, the back of your neck. Some of you, it's actually heartbreak, this deep, deep heartbreak, emotional heartbreak. Some of you, it's like fatigue. So some of you, it's like you're hooked in and they're draining you, they're draining your energy. So like overgiving, people pleasing, etc. So just ask Creator Source to show you, where in your system are you holding this sister wound? Body, mind, spirit, soul. What's the cause? What's the effect? Because when you ask those powerful questions and you see that the sister wound is healing or healed, that won't be a manifestation anymore. And what I'm getting with some of you is that you're going to see it, that you start to put yourself first, that you matter, that you're important. Okay, and what we're going to do now is breathe. Okay, I want 9 breaths, deep breaths in and out. We're going to start to shift this. Right, and I'm shifting it with my pendulum. So 9 deep breaths. Use the breath to move this energy. And as we start to move this energy, we're going to activate sacred sister codes, so new beliefs. That I'm safe in sisterhood. You might even want to repeat this after me, that I'm safe in sisterhood, I rise with others, I celebrate and I am celebrated. Some of you might feel a bit emotional, that's okay. I'm safe to rise with other women. I'm celebrated and loved in my visibility. My presence uplifts the collective feminine. I belong to a sacred sisterhood. It is safe to be seen in my gifts. And my heart is open to feminine connection. I radiate mutual respect and support. Sisterhood amplifies my power. I receive love, recognition, and support with grace. We rise together stronger than ever. Okay, so if you want those codes, just say yes out loud. Okay, well done. I'm going to start to activate them. Okay, let's just do another 9 breaths. Okay, good. Okay, let's just bring in light codes and upgrades. Okay, when you're ready, I want you to imagine that you're grounding yourself back into the earth, allowing just all that heavy toxicity just to release into the earth, and it's just going to be swallowed up and sent out to the divine. And then can we just bring in the codes of forgiveness? So all the times that you've betrayed other women, and we're just going to get rid of and close that karmic loop. Okay, right, let me know in the chat how you're going. How was that? What did you get? Okay, so we've just done a few little beliefs and we've just done a quick, powerful. I want you to see that, you know, healing work doesn't have to be hard or long. It's in the right side of your neck, solar plexus and hip. Yeah. It was in my stomach when we'd done the process. I felt like I was going to vomit. Yeah. It's deep stuff. I'm going to drop in, I've got some journaling prompts for you all. Is it this one? Yeah. so that you can, if you want to go a bit deeper, and if you want me to look at your journaling prompts, pop them in the group and tag me. So your journaling prompts, if you want to do this as extra homework, today, tonight, ready for tomorrow, but you can tag me and I can have a look and help you with it. So the journaling prompt is, where in my life have I felt unsafe or unseen by women? You want to be journaling for about 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie, because at the very start of journaling, you're just doing a brain dump, right? And it's the ego talking to you. After about 20 minutes, and it's normally when your writing becomes a bit messy, you start to channel, and then you're tapped into your subconscious, all right? Because the ego mind is the one that keeps you safest. That's the one that shouts the loudest. That's the one that comes first. So you need to allow the ego to do its thing, and then the ego will step aside, and then the subconscious mind will come through. So you need to allow yourself a good hour for this journaling, all right? So where in my life have I felt unsafe and seen by women? What would it feel like to be fully supported by the feminine? So you can see with those two journal prompts, what I'm getting you to do is to release and then integrate. All right. So what you're ready to let go of and what you're ready to call in. Those are those two journaling prompts. All right. And then I've put the link if you want to do the 6-week program with me. All right, around this, obviously we've got the 3 days here, but what we've got, it starts on October the 29th through till 3rd of December. We go live on a Wednesday at 12:30 lunchtime AEST, my time zone. There will be a replay, there will be a portal, right? And you keep access to this stuff. So we're doing pendulum healing for the divine feminine, but we're concentrating on those 3 core wounds: the sister wound, the mother wound, and the witch wound. We're going to be working with the feminine field, clearing your nervous system and helping you to ground, right? Feel stable and basically in your power. Sister wound, mother wound, witch wound, we're going to do frequency activations and abundance codes, because this stuff does affect your abundance, and that's your abundance in time, health, wealth, money, love, not just wonga. Okay. And we're going to do integration and practitioner confidence as well, so that you are able to do this on your clients as well. Because what you'll find is, especially with pendulum dowsing, that you'll be able to get to the root cause of this quite quickly with your clients, all right? And then you'll be able to move this stuff as well. Okay, so who is the container for, the 6-week container? It's for women who lead others and is ready to deepen her energetic mastery, has done mindset and healing work, but still feels capped, wants to offer deep, faster, cleaner results for her clients, and feels called to rise in her visibility without any apologies. All right. So that's already there, and I'm setting up the container as we speak today, and I'm already starting to fill out the portal as well. So what you'll get is that you'll get 6 weeks training with me and healing. We'll have the live calls. We have a Facebook group, okay, where for those 6 weeks that I am coming in, and then I do a live Q&A every week within that Facebook group and that community. But also, as I said, I create the pendulum, I create the vortex, so that we are working through and shifting whatever needs to be shifted on a collective. So when we did Pendulum Mastery, right, the first round, I was actually opening up everybody's psychic abilities and actually healing some of the witch wound in Pendulum Mastery. In Quantum Jumping, we were working through fear of parallel universes as well. So there's lots of stuff that we're working on behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily come shooting out straight in front of us. What we're working through in this round is we're working through abundance, acceptance, peace, clarity, confidence, and self-expression. We are working with divine understanding and divine communication. We're working on tapping into the paradise heaven, living your life in paradise, basically, via healing those different types of wounds. So yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a taster of what that's all about. So I'd love to support you further in this, but take what you need for these next 3 days. Feel free to use the journaling prompts, okay, and then just tag me in the group and I can have a look at that, and if I can assist you in any way, then we can. So be kind to yourself over the next 24 hours till we meet. You might want to journal, you might want to put points down, things might come up, so bring that to class tomorrow or pop it in the comments under this replay, but tag me so I can see the information. I'm here to support you for the next 3 days, but then if you want to go further into this container, then we can do. Doors are already open up to this container and I've already got 6 women in this, so it's starting to build, which is beautiful. So what would it feel like to be fully supported by the feminine? Yeah, you certainly wouldn't be burning out, yeah, by using the divine masculine. Oh, that'd be beautiful. Thank you. Yes, I'd love to have you and support you as well. Oh, so helpful. Thank you. Yes, great. Oh, thank you for putting that second prompt in. Yes. Your hands got set on fire. You and your hands, my love. You're very powerful through your hands. Yeah, confirmation it's done. Yeah, I'll just drop the journaling prompts in again. So yeah, it's going to be powerful, this. But don't think that these next 3 days aren't going to be powerful, because they will be. They absolutely will be. Okay. All right. I will see you all tomorrow. And yeah, do your journaling if you want that extra support. But yeah, I hope you'll just be sitting here. My hope for you is over the next 24 hours, you'll be like, oh, is that a sister wound? Oh, that's a sister wound. So you might get flashbacks over the next 24 hours of that means that means that, because that's what happened to me when I started to understand more of this sister wound. I saw flashbacks at pivotal points in my life, especially around me, because I used to do dancing, ballet, tap and stage work when I was younger, right? And I saw a lot of that energy starting to leave my body, and resistance around, you know, coming to the front light. You know, look what I do in this group, right? I have to show up. So, you know, being trained as a dancer and everything when I was younger, but then never, you know, with other stuff that came about, I held myself back, right? But I needed that sort of performance energy to be able to do what I do today, right? Be in front of the camera. And it was actually when I worked for the global beauty company, they actually got me back up on stage, talking with the microphone and presenting and watching myself back on camera. They actually got us to do presenting stuff as well. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I have to show up, right? I have to show up for my people. But I had to work through a lot of the sister wound stuff, right? There you go. All right, I'm going to sign off. I will see you all this time tomorrow. And remember, on Wednesday, it's an hour later because I've got clients in the morning. But I've really enjoyed this today. And you can go back and check those beliefs. Okay, I'll drop them into the chat now. I'll do that now, so you can see the beliefs that we've cleared. If any of them haven't cleared, it means you need to go deeper. So I'm going to write the beliefs in here now. Hopefully they've worked. Yeah, I've put them in. That'd be helpful. Okay, so those are the beliefs that we muscle tested. I've just dropped them in. So just see which ones have cleared. If any have stayed, You might need to journal on them, okay? You might need to go deeper, all right? There's sometimes we hold on to these because it keeps us safe, all right? So we need to go deeper with that. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.